The Beauty and the Beast, the story of Belle. Once upon a time, an old beggar woman came to the castle of a spoiled, selfish prince. She offered him a rose in return for shelter. Repulsed by her appearance, the prince sent her back into the night without another thought. Suddenly, the old woman turned into an enchantress. She transformed the prince into a beast and placed a spell on the entire castle. If the prince could learn to love and be loved in return before the last petal of her rose fell, the spell would break. If not, he would be a beast forever. Not far away, a young woman named Belle dreamed about more exciting life than what she found in her small village. She wanted adventures like those she read in her beloved books. Belle always had her nose in a book, so the villagers thought she was strange. But she was also very beautiful. That's why Gaston, the most handsome and conceited man in the village, wanted to marry her. Gaston was certain that Belle would feel lucky to marry him, but Belle didn't want to marry such a boorish fellow, especially one who didn't appreciate her love of books. "It's not right for a woman to read," said Gaston. "Soon she starts getting ideas and thinking." As Belle headed home, Gaston's sidekick, Li Fu, laughed and called her father, Morose, a crazy old loon. "My father's not crazy. He's a genius," replied Belle. Then a loud bang came from her cottage, where Morose was working on a new invention. "I'll never get this boneheaded contraption to work," Morose said, kicking a piece of his new invention, an automatic wood chopper. "Yes, you will," Belle said. "And you'll win first prize at the fair tomorrow." With her encouragement, Morose fixed his invention. On his way to the fair, Morose got lost, and his horse, Fib, bolted in fear. All alone, Morose was surrounded by snarling wolves. To escape, he stumbled through a huge gate. Inside the gate was an enormous castle. Its shadowy hall seemed empty, but Morose heard whispering. "Is someone there?" Morose called. He picked up a candelabra to light his way. "Hello," the candelabra answered. Morose couldn't believe his eyes. The castle was full of enchanted objects that could move and talk. They appeared to be servants in the house. The candelabra Lurie and the clock Cogworth led Morose to a comfortable chair where he sat until a terrifying beast stalked into the room. "So you've come to stare at the beast, have you?" the beast said. "I meant no harm. I just needed a place to stay," Morose stammered. "I'll give you a place to stay," the beast snapped. Then he locked Morose in the dungeon. Meanwhile, Gaston had decided that the day of his wedding had arrived. He was sure Belle would marry him, so he hadn't made all the preparations except one. He hadn't bothered to propose yet. Belle was surprised to see Gaston, but she was even more surprised when he announced that it was the day her dreams would come true, the day she would marry him. "I'm very sorry, Gaston, but I just don't deserve you," Belle replied. Gaston leaned against the door just as she opened it. Splat! Gaston tumbled out the door and into a mud puddle. Li Fu stopped conducting the wedding band to check on Gaston. Furious, Gaston shouted, "I'll have Belle for my wife. Make no mistake about that." Belle ran to a nearby field to clear her head, and soon Philip galloped to join her. She was alarmed to see him alone. "Where's Papa? What happened?" Belle asked the horse. "You have to take me to him." It was growing dark by the time Belle and Philip arrived at the castle gate. Belle peered inside and saw Rose's hat lying on the path. But when determined to find her father, she entered the dark castle. But when Belle discovered Rose in the dungeon, the beast lunged from the shadows. "What are you doing here?" he roared. Belle pleaded for the beast to take her instead of Maruse. And the beast accepted with one condition. "You must promise to stay here forever," he said. Now free, Maruse raced back to town, shouting for help to rescue Belle from a horrible beast. But everyone laughed at crazy old Maruse. Everyone except Gaston. He had just thought of a way to use Maruse to force Belle into marriage. Back at the castle, Belle met some of the enchanted servants, including Miss Potts, a kind teapot, and her son, a cute teacup named Chip. "That was a very brave thing you did, my dear," said Miss Potts. She knew that Belle had chosen to stay in the castle to save Maruse. Belle shook her head. "But I've lost my father, my dreams, everything." Downstairs, the beast was furious because Belle had refused to join him for dinner. "If she doesn't eat with me, then she doesn't eat at all," he roared at the servants. "Try to act like a gentleman," Miss Potts advised him. Later that night, when Belle grew hungry, she crept into the kitchen for a bite to eat. To her delight, the staff treated her to a feast with singing and dancing. They were thrilled to finally have a guest. After dinner, Belle wanted to explore the castle. The beast had forbidden her to go into the west wing, which made her curious. Cogsworth and Lumley tried to discourage her, but Belle slipped away from them and ventured up the stairs. Belle entered a darkened room and gasped at the ripped curtains and broken furniture. Then she saw a rose glowing under a glass dome. Several petals had fallen. Entranced by its beauty, she reached out, but before she could touch it, the beast burst into the room. "I warned you to never come here," he bellowed. "Do you realize what you could have done? Get out!" Terrified, Belle ran from the castle. "Promise or no promise, I can't stay here another minute," she cried. She found Philip outside, and the two raced into the forest. But soon ferocious wolves surrounded them. Before the wolves could attack Belle and Philip, the beast sprang from the shadows. Growling and snarling, he fought off the wolves' snapping jaws. At last the pack fled, howling into the woods. But the beast had been hurt. Belle tended to his wounds. "If you hadn't run away, this wouldn't have happened," the beast said. "If you hadn't frightened me, I wouldn't have run away," Belle replied. Then she added, "Thank you for saving my life." "You're welcome," said the beast. Meanwhile, Gaston, followed by Lee Fu, met Monsieur d'Arc from Assom de Lune and bribed him to declare Moose insane. Belle's father would be locked up in the Assom unless Belle agreed to marry Gaston. As the day passed, Belle saw a gentle and kind side of the beast. Birds too noticed a difference, and they perched fearlessly on his shoulders and ate birdseed from his paws. The staff watched the couple hopefully. Even Chip knew something special was happening. It seemed as if Belle and the beast were beginning to care for each other. Perhaps, just perhaps, the spell would finally be broken and everyone would become human again. One evening, the beast arranged an elegant dinner and asked Belle to join him. That time she accepted. The beast tried very hard to act like a gentleman, and Belle was impressed. After dinner, soft music played. The beast took Belle in his arms and they danced around the ballroom. The beast was beginning to love Belle, but could he find the courage to tell her? The beast asked Belle if she was happy. She replied that she was, but she missed her father. So the beast showed her mirror that revealed an image of Mirth. He was in trouble. Although there was little time to break the curse, the beast released Belle from her promise, letting her go find her father. The beast gave Belle the mirror so she would remember him, but as he watched her ride away, he howled in pain. He loved her and he would miss her. Worse still, it seemed like that any hope of breaking the spell was gone forever. Belle rested Maru's home after finding. To their surprise, Chip had snuck into their and come along too. How did you escape from that horrible beast? Asked Ruth. He's different now, Papa, Belle said. But before she could explain, there was a knock on the door. Monsieur d'Arc had arrived to take Merce away. As the guards dragged Merce to the outside wagon, Gaston cornered Belle. I might be able to clear this little misunderstanding, he said. If you marry me. Never, Belle exclaimed. To prove that her father wasn't crazy, Belle showed the villagers the beast's image and chanted, He's really kind and gentle. He's my friend, she told him. Jealous and enraged, Gaston seized the mirror. Kill the beast, he shouted. Then Gaston locked Belle and Merce in their cottage and led the townspeople with torches blazing to the castle. As the mob approached, Miss Potts ran to the beast, alarmed. What shall we do? Master, she asked. But with Belle gone, the beast no longer cared about anything. Just let them come, he said. Their servants were left to think of a plan of their own. With a crash, the castle doors flew open, and the townspeople stormed inside, but their servants were ready. The hat rack punched. The wardrobe slammed her doors, and the chairs kicked. At last, the servants chased the townspeople away. Only Gaston remained. Finding the beast alone, he raised his bow. The beast did not fight back. When Gaston's arrow hit him, he staggered, then crashed through the window and tumbled onto the castle roof. Gaston followed the beast. Give up, he shouted. What's the matter? Too kind and gentle to fight back? Gaston raised a club before he could strike. Belle screamed from below. No! She and Merce had escaped from the cottage and raced to the castle. At the sound of Belle's voice, hope filled the beast's heart and gave him the will to defend himself. He lunged at Gaston and held him near the roof's edge. Let me go! Please don't hurt me, begged the boy. The beast had changed. He no longer wanted to hurt anyone, not even Gaston. He released Gaston and climbed to a terrace where Belle had run to meet him. But Gaston surprised them and stabbed the beast. The beast roared with pain and whipped around, startling Gaston, who slipped and fell. With a cry, Gaston plunged through the darkness toward the rocks below. Belle pulled the beast to safety and knelt beside him. You came back, he whispered. At least I got to see you one last time. Please don't leave me, Belle sobbed. I love you. As she spoke, the last rose petal fell. Then suddenly magic sparkles began to swirl around the beast. He rose into the air, turning slowly in a shower of light. Belle watched in disbelief as the beast transformed. He became a handsome prince. Belle, he cried, it's me. Belle gazed into the prince's eyes. It is you, she said. Magic swirled above the castle. Happy cries rang out as the servants transformed back into their human selves. The spell was broken. It is a miracle, Lumi shouted. But no one was more joyful than Belle and the prince. The servants watched them waltz across the ballroom. "Are they going to live happily ever after, Mama?" Chip asked. "Of course, my dear," Miss Potts replied. And they did.